So you see what's going on out here in the world, and if you don't, well, I'm gonna catch you up on it. I'll put you up to speed on everything. So, holiday season. You got family, all of that coming around. Got all these sort of things. You're going to be spending time with your family. And I did a talk last week where I was saying that all of y'all are going to spend time with your family and do these type of things. We're going to do all of that. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And it's like, all this stuff takes money. You got to spend money. This type of thing. And I talked about how, your loved ones and all that, you know what I mean? Your grandma, your granddad, all that. This stuff takes money. Like I said, it takes money. And families are going to be together. But I was specifically talking about brown and black families, how we're not working together to address the problem of not making enough money. We aren't working together to do that, to address that problem, because it is a problem. And it's something that a lot of people get offended about. They feel some type of way about it. And it's like, so what? It needs to be fixed. So, a lot of y'all is just still on the old program of just doing things, and you know what I mean? And look, the government just came out, and you see it. People are just still waiting on jobs. And the government, because if the government is creating a report, that means that the government can control some things when it comes to jobs. The government is not allowing a certain amount of jobs to be open. They're not allowing any more jobs to be there. They're not allowing any more jobs to do any hiring because you need money to hire. So whatever kind of way you want to look at it, the jobs are not there. They're not creating enough jobs. Got a report right here. 4.6. That's the unemployment rate. I mean, I don't really care about that number, but I know what it used to be. The unemployment rate didn't used to be that high. I think it was around 3 something, or maybe something like that, 3 or 4 something like that. But it wasn't 4.6. I know that's the highest last month, this month, or whatever, that has been since the pandemic. And just think about that, though. Just think about that. So this is the highest it's been. And then a lot of people was laid off. A lot of people was laid off. A lot of y'all was laid off or whatever. A lot of y'all got family members who was laid off a few weeks ago, a few months ago, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And because of the government, right? Because of the shutdown. So those numbers is probably off, or we don't even know the accuracy, how accurate they are. Okay? So I'm going to talk about some things, I'm just going to talk about some things. Because y'all ain't going to do it. I'm going to talk about some ways that we can get the conversation going. So how we can correctly fix this problem. Okay? We'll talk about things we can do. Okay? Things that we can't do right now. or things that we can do in the future, right? Or whatever. I got an open door policy. You know what I mean? This job situation has those people who are still looking for the job, like they're still thinking that that's going to happen, right? They go out and do whatever they got to do. They get to get more certification. They get more education. Everybody can't be a business person, okay? That's not what I'm saying. So everybody can't do that. Everybody doesn't want to do that. Everybody doesn't know how to do it. You got a lot of factors. You got all three of those. Sometimes it's just one. But the jobs are not there. However, what's really crazy to me is how the jobs aren't there, but it's only been 4 years, 5 years, however many, 6 years, whatever you want to call it, after the pandemic, right? I mean, it's been a minute, but it's like, hey, you know, it wasn't really that long ago. So whatever monies was being gotten through whatever government relief, the PPP, the small business loans, the economic relief, whatever, emergency, whatever people was getting, they done ran through it. It's gone. It's gone. Okay? It's gone. Okay? So I don't want to hear nobody talk about how we need more money. Y'all got the money and you didn't do nothing with it. You feel me? You got it and you didn't do nothing. Because that's the majority of people didn't do anything because we don't have the jobs, meaning that the economy was not kept afloat by jobs because y'all people didn't go out here and create jobs. You didn't create more opportunity. Y'all just got the bag and just blew it. Y'all blew it. Y'all blew it because how the government is looking at it is, and I know this for a fact, this is how they're looking at it. They're looking at it like, well, if you was really getting money, you would have had to hire somebody because you're in such a surplus that actually doing it by yourself or doing it alone would make you lose money, so you wouldn't even have it in the first place. So that's how they're looking at it. They're looking at it like, well, either way you blew it because you should have hired somebody to help you get more money if you were in a surplus, or you would be good enough to where you could keep yourself afloat, where you started a company, a legitimate company, and you hired yourself as a small business owner, or you hired one or two other people. You would have been able to get some help because more help would have been more money, right? Because all the jobs who hiring people, let's assume they're making more money because they hire people. And when they are not able to hire people, that's because they don't need the money right now. That doesn't mean they're not making. It just means that it wouldn't make them substantially more. You get what I'm saying? Hell, for some of these jobs, they barely paying you, over $20 to $25 an hour. Some jobs still paying $14 an hour. So you got to think about how much more money they're getting. They're at least making, if your job is paying you $14 an hour, they're at least making $100 an hour off of you. Easily 100 off of you. Easily 3 times more than, more than whatever they paying you. So I would say easily 100 off of you. They're making that. Then how many people on the shift or whatever? I'm getting too far into it, but the point I'm making is, y'all did not create more opportunities for other people, which would have meant more money for you as a business owner, more loans, more commerce being done. You would have had to buy this and buy that and this and that. You get what I'm saying? That person would have got a loan, would have got a this and a that. That ain't happening. That's not happening. So that's the problem that's going on right now. The job loss situation. The unemployment rate of 4.6 is absolutely got this White House and all of this. Nobody is happy with the job situation right now. Now listen, keyword is job situation. No one is happy with the job situation right now. Okay? But what does it mean? I know I got into a little bit, but what does it mean? What does it mean? Damn, bro, no, what does it mean? What does it mean with this situation, this whole job? What does it mean? It means this. They don't care about the jobs. They're not looking at the jobs. That's one way of looking at it. But they're not looking at the jobs. Traditionally, in the United States, other countries globally, your mother, your father looked at the jobs. Your mother asked you, your uncle, your grandma asked you, what they ask you when you was coming up. I don't care what ethnicity you are. What they ask you. Where you working at? What you work? Where you working at? Where you working? That's what I'm saying. In the past 50 years, 60 years, what your parents, what your grandma asked you, where you working? If you under the age of 100, what did they ask you? Where you working at? We are in a new day and age. Okay, nobody never asked you how you get money. Nah, that was always no. They never asked you how you get money. You know, you might have had you a slick uncle or something. Yeah, hey, young blood, how you get your money, young blood? How you get money? But they didn't mean how you get money. They really meant where you working at. You know what I'm saying? Where you working at? What you doing? They don't expect you to say something crazy. They want to know where you working at. What are you working at? It's a new day and age. I'm telling you. I mean, come on. The United States is finna be what? However, it's finna be old. It's finna be old. You see what I'm saying? 300 years old or something? Oh, but you feel me? Whatever. How you getting your money though? You see what I'm saying? What you doing to get your money? Where you working at? You understand me? Where you working at? And what y'all not understanding about what I'm saying is that's done. That is done. It is over with. It's over with. Shawty, these folks do not care about you having a job. Because if you ain't with it, you gonna get left behind. They're leaving you behind. You are still out here on the old program. You still out here on that, I'm a hard working person. They don't care about that. They're working hard too. They don't care about the type of work you're doing. What they're doing now, and I mean economists and the politicians and the feds and all that who do all this stuff with money and stuff, they're looking at the money. And what they're seeing is that people are having to make money in untraditional means. So since they see that people are making money untraditionally, I mean totally untraditionally, they're not tracking, they're not being beholden to track traditionally. You see what I'm saying? They're not looking at, well, hey, we're going to just keep looking at how many jobs are open or how many jobs people fired to be a benchmark of the economy. They're not looking at that. They're looking at how much money is in circulation on different investments, businesses, and what industries and sectors and commodities and stuff like that. Not just, mind you, not just on like traditional investing methods, but what are people doing in the future, because you can't ignore it. This is the first time that I'm seeing that this is going on. They're not worried about traditional jobs. Okay, that's what that means. They're not worried whether they're going to come back or whether that's going to happen. They don't care about that right now. This administration does not care about that, and that's the way the world is going. So the United States goes, so the rest of the world is going there. However, what I'm telling you is, if you're still looking at it, well, gee, I have to find me a better job. It ain't happening. Or gee, I need to start me a business. That ain't happening. Or gee, I need to get more education so that I can get me a better. That ain't what's going on right now. You can do that. They will allow you to do that because that is part of the economy. But that is not going to be what moves the needle and what can take you to the next level. That's like, they're giving away college now, yo. They're giving this stuff away. You could go to college from the comfort of your own home. This is not anything that is moving the needle. You see what I'm saying? When something becomes so abundant like that, that kind of takes away the effect it has, and you know that. When something is so abundant like that, it kind of takes away the potency. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's go to college, don't go to college. There are so many ways that you can make a living now. Okay, so let's get into that, because we're not going to look at it only from the point of view of like, woe is me. So that's what I'm saying. What can be done about it?